Do you have scattershot? Yeah, you do.
Here.
The question is there an end to her constant spawning of stuff? Can I catch up to it?
I got you!
Oh. Okay. New thing. Self, mana or stamina less than 25. Use most powerful lyrium potion. Oh, wait, I see a problem already. There he goes, okay. Revive Nathaniel. Whoa, what are you doing? What's this movement you're doing? I didn't tell you to do that. Nice bard song, buddy. Doing good? Wait. Oh, he put that away. Accuracy got turned off when he swapped to the knives. Oh my god, we actually cleared everything. Wait, blocked? She just slapped Justice across the room. She summoned more. Got her. Imagine if you played a Mage Grey Warden and you're watching your character pull out a knife and just go charging in. You're like, wait, what are you doing? No, shoot a fireball. This is like, ah! I feel like we're turning and walking away a bit too soon. Also, there's still a red circle around that one. That means it's still alive. Cool guys don't look at this. Oh. After the death of the Mother, the remaining Darkspawn forces scattered and fled back into the Deep Roads. The raids on Amaranthine came to an abrupt end. The Architect apparently kept his word, gathering his remaining disciples to follow the rest of their kind back underground. Those Grey Wardens in other nations were appalled to hear of the Architect's continued existence, but were unable to track him down despite years of effort. Some within the Order have claimed that the Architect's survival guarantees another Blight, and yet the Deep Roads have lately been quieter than any can recall. Most have resignedly decided that it is now in the Maker's hands. Word of the Grey Warden's heroic salvation of Amaranthine spread like wildfire. When the magnitude of the losses at Vigil's Keep came to light, sympathy drove generous donations from all over Ferelden into the region's coffers. Amaranthine was restored to her former glory within a year, Vigil's Keep in 5. The Darkspawn messenger, set free after joining the Wardens in the Battle of Amaranthine, struck out on his own. The city soon buzzed with stories of a cloaked but lisping figure who aided travelers in danger. At the same time, reports of isolated cases of the Darkspawn disease emerged. No one connected the two. Oh man, so you don't know if that was good or bad. Although the war devastated many farms in the Arling, all agreed the loss would have been greater without soldiers for protection. The farmholders developed a certain reverence for the Warden commander, as well as an ongoing reliance on the Grey Wardens for order and protection. I feel like there should be music for this or something. Dirk, one of the pranksters behind the Blight Orphan scam, was fortunate enough to survive the Battle of Amarantine. Wait, what? Blight Orphan scam? Oh, the only thing I know about that is there was a, like, tip jar in the inn, and it said, for the Blight Orphans. I never saw anything else related to that, I don't think. The unconditional generosity of the Blight Orphan's mysterious benefactor inspired him to establish a legitimate charity dedicated to children orphaned in the attack. Oh yeah, I threw a gold in there. His sweetheart Melissa eventually bore him 2 rascals. Vigil's Keep stood alone against a horde of Darkspawn. The Mother's forces outnumbered the Vigil's defenders many times over. But the sturdy dwarven walls, yes, proved impervious to any boulder an ogre could throw. The Vigil's soldiers, clad in silverite, each felled a dozen Darkspawn before they died. The Vigil held 1 night, then 2, then a week, and eventually the attacking horde broke upon her walls. Dude, I didn't leave it alone for a week. Oh my god. The keep developed an almost mythic reputation. The few survivors immortalized in song and legend. Yes! I knew it! I knew, dude, when one of the options was I have faith in the fortress I built, I was like, I did every single side quest I saw related to upgrading the keep. I threw like 100 gold into that. I was like, if it's a possible outcome, I was like, I have to have it if it's a possible outcome. The Vigil became a trading hub that would eventually eclipse the city of Amarantine, with traders reassured by guards continually patrolling the Pilgrim's Path. But prosperity bred scheming and treachery between merchants and nobles, testing the commander's patience for years to come. Peace allowed the Wardens to replenish their numbers. Soon, Vigil's Keep bore a capable army with Wardens at its core. From their ranks emerged new heroes to challenge threats to Amarantine and all of Ferelden. Through taxes and levies, the Vigil was rebuilt. Years later, Voldric Glavenok stood on the battlements and pronounced that the defenses were acceptable. He would never speak more highly of any human engineering. It'll do. Some nobles claimed the Grey Wardens were involved in Ban Esmerel's disappearance on the eve of the final battle against the Darkspawn. Oh, yeah, she attacked me and we killed her. Dark whispers hint that a conspiracy to oust the Wardens from Amarantine is still afoot. Among the many legends that the Vigil spawned was one of the great heroes of the next age, a sheep herder turned soldier by the name of Sir Alec the Valiant, who eventually founded an order of knights that lasted 1,000 years. Dworkin Glavenok further refined his lyrium sand explosives, but left the Warden's employ after Qunari mercenaries tried to assassinate him. Oh yeah, because he was trying to outdo the Qunari with bombs. Although the Dwarven Bombardier took his secrets with him, the learned say he left clues for others to follow in his footsteps. The Vigil's soldiers, wearing the distinctive silverite armor that Master Wade crafted, came to be known as the Silver Order. Under the tutelage of the Wardens, the Silver Order developed into one of Ferelden's most revered military forces, a lasting memory of the Vigil's famous commander. With Valana and the Architect gone from the region, the Pilgrim's Path began to see traffic again. The massacre of the militiamen and the merchants, however, led to hostilities between the neighboring human settlements and any Dalish clans that passed by. One human villager soon kidnapped and murdered a Dalish child. Oh god. The clans reacted by giving the Wending Wood a wide berth, but both sides knew that at some point the elves would return for revenge. A few years after Kal Hirol was emptied of Darkspawn, Orzammar began sending expeditions to rediscover the knowledge of smithing that had been lost within the Taig. Eventually, House Helmi decided that Kal Hirol was too important to be abandoned. At a tremendous cost of Dwarven lives, they cleared the tunnels leading to Kal Hirol of all Darkspawn, making the road between Orzammar and the fortress safe again. Kal Hirol was reclaimed for Orzammar, once and for all. In time, the Arling began to forget the tales of apparitions in the Black Marsh, and ever so slowly, settlers drifted into the region. Scholars said the Vale was still thin and thus the area still dangerous, but the people only cared that there were no longer frightened whispers in the shadows. The village was slowly rebuilt. Twice the Baroness's mansion was rebuilt and occupied, once by a wealthy merchant and another time by an Orlesian mage. Both died mysteriously. Afterwards, the mansion was torn down completely and the site left untouched. Anders remained with the Grey Wardens a few years longer, training the Order's next generation of mages. But when the Circle Tower called on him to deliver a lecture on the nature of the Architect, much to the Templars' dismay, Anders told the commander of the Grey his time with the Wardens was over. So I know that Anders... my memory's fuzzy because it was over a decade ago, but I know he plays a large role in Dragon Age 2. And both because there's some things I don't want to spoil, and because there's some things I don't remember, I'm just going to leave it at that. Now that Anders was no longer a warden, the Templars declared him an apostate, finally catching the mage when he just tried to destroy his phylactery, because I never got around to doing that. He escaped from the tower an 8th time, then a 9th, before disappearing entirely. When the walls of Vigil Keep were breached, the surviving defenders watched in horror as a section of stone collapsed upon Valana. Wait, I thought the walls held. When the rubble was later cleared, however, there was no body, she was just gone. After spending a number of years with the Wardens, Nathaniel realized this life was not for him. He said goodbye to his sister Delilah and his new nephew, then left to seek his fortune. In time, the nephew became a Grey Warden himself, in emulation of Nathaniel, then rose to Warden Commander. He brought honor to the Howl's name once again. Not long after the Darkspawn threat was ended, Justice returned to Vigil's Keep and looked sadly into the sun. When one of the other Wardens asked what was amiss, he said simply, "I know what I must do." Kristoff's body slumped, dead. If the spirit itself remains alive, it has not shown itself. It was Sigrun who led the charge against the Darkspawn when Vigil's Keep was attacked. Once again, she had an army behind her, and once again, they fought Darkspawn with no hope of survival. This time, Sigrun did not flee. Oh my god, that's it? It's not even going to say if she lived or not. At Vigil's Keep, Oghren rallied a last-minute defense of the gate, taking on 2 ogres simultaneously to allow others time to regain the courtyard. He eventually passed out from blood loss, and when he awoke weeks later, nobody was more surprised than he to discover he had been credited as a hero. Oghren continued to regale young Warden recruits with tales of his prowess in both battle and bed. His drinking games prompted at least one recruit to declare that she'd rather reattempt the joining than lift another mug. Felsi returned to Vigil's Keep several times to see Oghren, usually bringing their toddler as well. Felsi? Oghren's inability to act seriously wore on her, however, and her visits dwindled, then stopped altogether. If Oghren missed her or his child, he never showed it. Who the hell is Felsi? I didn't know he had a wife or a kid. As for the savior of Ferelden, he did not remain as commander of the Grey for long. The Darkspawn were no longer a real concern, the blight well and truly over. It was time for him to move on. Some claim the commander went to Antiva, chasing after the assassin Zevran. Zevran? From Origins. One rumor suggested the pair engaged in a terrible showdown in the Antivan capital, and others say they took over the Crows. Perhaps they adventure together still. That's random. Achievement unlocked, Awakening. Oh, man. That was fantastic. I didn't expect to finish it so quickly. That felt a bit shorter than I thought it was going to be, but there was some side quests that I missed. And also, like, again, I didn't realize I was, like, past a point of no return. Like, when he's like, "Are you ready to talk to the lords?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I missed the hint. I didn't realize it was telling me you can't do side quests after this, or I might have done some more. But that was a lot of fun. That was very enjoyable. The freaking random high dragon at the end it was almost a jump scare. Was not expecting that. It was kind of interesting what they did with archery. Like, they were like, "Oh man, archery was pretty bad in Origins. What should we do? Let's buff it. Okay, how much? Like 10 times? You don't think that's too much? No. Also make it so that they never miss and like 50% crit chance." Like, archery was stupidly strong there at the end. But yeah. That was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know if I've got anything to say, like, review-wise. Same as Origins. Fantastic game. Great voice acting. Great storytelling. It holds up well to this game, to this day. One of my favorite things about the Dragon Age Origins and its, expansions and stuff is like the AI you can set up for the companions, like your healer. Like, if my ally's under 90% health, use regen, but if they're under 50, cast heal. If they're under 25, do this. If my mana goes below 10, use a mana potion. Like, the AI you can set up for them, I love it so much. You can get everything just how you want it. So that was fantastic. But yeah, that is the end of Awakening. So next up is the next time, I guess. If we want to do all of these, there is still Witch Hunt, Darkspawn Chronicles, and Golems of Amgarok. And I know Witch Hunt is basically, you're trying to hunt down Morrigan, who's on the run. Darkspawn Chronicles, I think you play Darkspawn. Golems of Amgarok, I have no idea. I'm assuming it's related to Shale, but I don't honestly know. But yeah, so that's it for Awakening.